when you're ready to scale, that's when you do the bigger webinars, less like a fishnet, and you drive everybody in there. So nothing of this is like carved in stone. You can test whatever you want to because it's just that easy to create.
Hey, welcome to Scaling with Confidence. I'm Olu Sobanjo, entrepreneur, coach, consultant, and pastor, here to bring you dynamic conversations with high-level individuals who are scaling 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. We believe that every entrepreneur has a unique story and purpose that can inspire others and positively impact the world. And if you are an entrepreneur who's ready to share your journey and insight, visit scalingwithconfidence.com/guest to apply to be a guest on the show. You are going to love this show. You're going to hear real stories from real people who are ready to inspire, challenge, and empower you. We don't just talk business strategy, we dive deep into the personal stories, challenges, and mindset that come with scaling a successful business. So let's go.
Tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, so my name is April Reid of Aprille.com. I am an author and webinar funnel architect, multi-passionate entrepreneur. I actually started out in my business as a business coach way back in 2015, 16, and got into webinars as a means to get discovery calls or strategy sessions, to have conversations with people so that I can get them into my high ticket programs. I'm a mother of 4, and that keeps me pretty busy.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a mother of 4, and eventually it kind of got crazy there, just trying to run a business. Still had a 9 to 5 because revenue isn't profit, So, and there's so many expenses out there that you just don't realize. And I didn't really want to get into like my own insurance and other things like that. Let's face it, there's some things of employeeship that we kind of like.
That's true. That's true.
So just in the last, I guess it's been a year, I kind of pivot into creating more courses and taking everything that I normally would teach on a one-on-one session and package it into like a digital product.
I love that. Now, there's a lot of things that you've said there that I love to actually unpack, starting with the fact that you have 4 little ones, right? Can you tell us their age range?
Okay, so I said little ones, but 3.5 to 17.
Oh,
and
wow.
So then there's this 10-year gap in there, and it makes everything so weird because you got the older 2 and then you got the younger 2. So trying to find something that everybody likes to do together is challenging.
Oh my. I can imagine you already have some skills in the mothering world that you bring into your business as well, don't you?
Yes, you have to.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing with us. Why webinars? Why did you decide to focus on webinars?
Well, when I was starting out, I was trying to find a niche. You hear all about niche down. And funny as it is, I wasn't even trying to get into the niche of webinars. One of my coaching clients, because I was more like, I'm a business coach. Tell me what you need help with. And she chose webinars because she saw I had been successful on a few of my webinars. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. I'll teach webinars. And then when you're on Facebook, because Facebook was really, really, hot back then. It was pretty new. More and more people start learning about me doing webinars, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to niche into. I was kind of rebellious. I didn't want to pigeonhole myself, but I'm like, okay. So I will just start focusing on webinars. And I'm so glad I did because it was hard coaching people how to, write their book and get it published, coaching people over here, how to mindset. So niching down was good because it helped me hone in on my craft. It was the only thing I was learning. It was the only thing that I was teaching. And so, yeah, that's how it all started.
I love that. I love that. And it's actually very similar to my story as well, because you go out there and you're trying to compete with all the other gurus out there that are in business coaching. And even though you know so well that you can help and you've actually helped a couple of people, you still need to niche down and make sure that you're known for one thing, that even though you're still going to bring all the other wisdom that you have, you're known for your craft, right?
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly.
I love that. I want you to begin to pay attention to what April is saying, because there's a big market out there for what you have and what you already have success in. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? What do you think about for someone that is still thinking, I need to niche, I don't want to niche down because I'm going to shrink, I'm going to lose my power, okay? What would you say to
Mhm.
someone like that?
I would say that the idea of niching down is temporary. And as you were talking, I kind of thought about Tyler Perry, and hopefully everybody on this chat, this meeting, know who Tyler Perry is. But he kind of started out marketing toward Black churches. And then once he got that, plays, and then he ventured out into the movies. But once he got that base and he was like famous in that base, it made it so much easier for him to expand and branch out. And now it's like, who doesn't know who Tyler Perry is? So it's not necessarily something you have to stick with. I wouldn't even say it's something you have to be in love with, actually. Like, something you're good at. It's easier when you're following your passion, because there's just going to be days where you don't want to write that blog post, you don't want to make that sales call, you don't want to show up on social media. So picking something that you're passionate about to start with is definitely going to help you with discipline and motivation. But this doesn't have to be set in stone. And as a matter of fact, like even now, I'm slowly branching out. Webinars is still the core, but I'm branching out into other things that I enjoy teaching.
I love that. I love that. And listen, everyone, there is power in actually going so small, then you become big, right? And I'm taking the time to say this because I know that a lot of passionate entrepreneurs find it hard to niche down at the earlier stage of their businesses, because you're so in love with what you have so much that you don't want to let go of it. And you've spent a lot of time and money too. Maybe you've even hired coaches that you've paid thousands of dollars, and you're like, you know what? I can't change. I have to just be. But April, you mentioned something just now that I'd like to even drill down a little bit more on. And that idea is you don't even need to love it.
Right.
Why don't you expand a little bit on that?
Well, I feel like sometimes, like, and I'm sure most of us, at least at one point, had a job. And when you have a job, you're learning skills and you can use those skills and bring them into your business. And so you have a particular talent that you learned, and there's a market for it. You're good at it. If you want that quick money, because I believe in the beginning of this call, it's like people want to know like how to end the quarter with a bang. What is it, like just this week, or and start the next quarter off strong? I mean, just saying, okay, what am I good at that I don't have to grab a book, grab a course, really study, that I could just make that initial quick buck because I already know how to do this. So you could be skillful in something, talented in something, and still be able to market yourself and sell what it is that you know. Now, yes, I do gravitate toward following passion, but that doesn't mean you can't make money doing something that you know how to do, but you may not be particularly passionate about.
I love that. I love that. The market can actually guide you because your passion is great, but what the market wants from you is more important right now before you actually now get to a place where you maximize the business and you're actually scaling so big, right? And I think you actually touched on that when you were talking about your story and how you got to webinars, because people came to you and they're like, you've done so well in webinars. Why don't you tell us more? Because we can see that you're doing well with this, right? What do you think about the market being so important and crucial in what you do as a coach or consultant?
It's definitely crucial. And I'm gonna say be careful with the market, because you heard of shiny object, and I have had the market, especially like early on in business, because I do know a little bit of this and a little bit of that. When you're trying to grow a business and you don't have any money, you have to learn, you have to do your own graphics. But you don't have to, if you don't have any money to hire out, you have to learn how to do it yourself. So people were coming at me, create my website, because I know how to do that. Create my sales page, I know how to do that. Design social media graphics, I know how to do that. I'm like, yeah, okay, all money is good money. And it's like, so yes, the market is important, but at the same time, you have to look at what's authentic to you. Set out those goals. Is this meeting my goal in the grand scheme of things? The grand scheme of things. And if it is, go for it. So yes, the market is very important, but don't let it like set you off in left field.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because once you know what people want from you, then you stick to it and not get carried away with every single suggestion that the market gives you, because they're always going to come, right?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Why don't we now just take us a little bit into webinar? When you talk about mini webinars and webinar series, what do you mean? What exactly is it that you teach people to do?
Sure. So I started off with webinars, but when the pandemic hit, I realized that the way I have structured my business, especially with 4 children, everybody in the homeschooling, my business and my lifestyle was not like pandemic proof. So I had to kind of tweak that webinar and maybe even niche more down from there. And I got into mini webinars. So I will define a mini webinar, because I think pretty much people know what webinars are. It's just, like a presentation that you share online, with usually PowerPoint slides. But what a mini webinar is, it's like a 5 to 15 minute, basically a video sales letter that you put in front of the right people at the right audience. You hit those right points. It takes out the fluff that makes a webinar 60, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 200 slides. It takes all that out. And when you target the right audience, you're giving them what they need in order to make a buy decision right then and there. You go to Target, Walmart, you don't need somebody following you around with a 20-minute presentation. Once somebody knows exactly what it is that you need, they can point you into the right aisle, give you a few tips and pointers about why you should purchase something. And then we're intelligent people. We can figure out if we want to buy the thing or not.
I love that. I really love that. Can you give us an idea of what it entails, okay? Doing a long form webinar and a short form webinar that you're talking about.
Webinar probably took me a year and a half to do, because it was like, oh, what am I going to sell? Oh, what am I going to name it, call it? Oh, when am I going to have time to do these slides? Who am I going to put it in front of? And it was just tedious. I halfway did it. And then it was like, oh, I still got more slides to do. This is hard. So it's definitely intimidating, definitely a lot of work to do a long form webinar. And I'm sort of like, this is not me typically bashing webinars, because there is a place for them. Webinars are not going away. But the main difference between a mini webinar and a webinar, other than just the length of time, is that I want you to think of a traditional webinar as a marketing funnel. You are marketing yourself to people who don't know who you are. They probably don't even know they have a problem. It's kind of like a big net where you're trying to catch as many people as possible and then put them into this webinar funnel, from the least aware information to the most aware, which is buying your course that's saying that you're going to help them. A mini webinar really focuses, I want you to think of a mini webinar as like a sales funnel. It's really targeted and focused on those people. They are either problem aware or they're solution aware, and they just need convincing. Okay, so who am I going to buy for? You could see there's more time, more money is needed toward a webinar because they're focused on marketing and branding. But that mini webinar that's focusing directly on the sales, it's shorter. I don't need to convince you you have a problem. I don't need to convince you what the solution is. I just need to let you know why you need to purchase from me.
I love that. I love that. So my system, one of the things that I say is the people that you're doing your short mini webinars for are people that are actually ready to take action.
Yes.
Very good. They're just they're just wondering, should I buy from A or should I buy from B, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now,
and if they don't know what that solution is, at least know what their problem is and they want it solved.
I love that. I love that. And now, do you do these webinars? Where do you do them? Do you do them on social media, or do you do them on your landing page, or on Zoom, or where do you do your mini webinars?
Great question. And another big difference is, like traditional webinars, you got all the tech and the funnel and everything has to be put together and you're live, and then there's tech issues. Mini webinars are recorded. You don't have to even show your face if you don't want to. It could be completely text. And the best part, which I suggest, is that your mini webinar is scripted. Now, I don't want you reading a script and it sounds like it's scripted. I mean, practice so it sounds natural and off the tongue, but they're scripted because we want to make sure we're hitting those trigger words, or for lack of a better term, but those marketing terms, those sales terms that's really going to attract the right person. And you're going to put that mini webinar on your site, on your YouTube channel, on social media. I teach something called in front of the gate, behind the gate. In front of the gate means, think of an opt-in. So if your mini webinar is in front of the gate, it's free for anybody to watch and see. They don't have to opt in. Behind the gate means they have to opt in to actually see your mini webinar. And that's just a good way to collect leads so that you can send them a few emails afterwards and try to drive them to your mini webinar if they haven't actually watched it yet, but it's 5-10 minutes. So anything could happen. Somebody had a phone call, they couldn't watch it. But anyway, and yeah, so I would mainly say putting that mini webinar on your website so that you can bring traffic to that page, and even having the checkout underneath. Now, if you're a coach and you're trying to get people to book, like get on your calendar, that mini webinar call to action is going to actually be people to book on your calendar. They watch the mini webinar, you're telling them what you can do for them, you're explaining the problem, your solution, how you're different. They book a call with you, and then now that they're on the call with you, you can sell them into your high ticket program.
I love that. I love that. And I can see everyone in the chat. You can just say in the chat, can you see what April is saying here? how easy it is once you have the attention of the person that wants this information, once they're able to see it, it's much easier for you to just communicate what you do and the problem they have, the solution that you have, and how you are different, and get them on your calendar. Anybody, if you're here, you want more appointments, more sales, put more sales in the comments. I'd like to see that, okay? Once you've decided on what the idea is, the rest is now the next step. What's the next step? And then what's the next step? What do I need to do? And April is here. She's going to be able to, show you the next step. Do you have a community, or how can people follow you?
Yeah, so once you opt into that freebie, my community is, email, because as far as like the actual community, it's only for my student and clients. But if you want to get into my world, the cheapest thing I sell is like $9. And then that would give you access to me. And then I'm also on YouTube at youtube.com/April Reid.
Awesome. How many webinars does somebody need to do if they're a coach or a consultant? Do they need to have series or just one and that's it?
Let's say you're selling $3,000 or $5,000 coaching package. You really only need the one. Although you can have as many as you want. I mean, we are talking 5 minutes, 10 minutes here, selling each one of your products that you have. But you only need one to get those two $5,000 clients. You do that every month. Now you're already at 6K.
I love that. So what I'm getting from that is, it's more like once you have one offer, you need one for your grand scheme of things, right? That explains who you are and gets people to buy the main offer, your irresistible offer, I'm assuming. And then now for each of your sales pages or each of your offers, it will be good also to have a webinar series for that as well.
Yeah, you can have multiple mini webinars. We'll just say 3 for the exact same product. So maybe you have a 3-step system in your product or in your coaching, and your first mini webinar addresses the first system, your second one, the second system, and your third one, the third system. And you can kind of pull those people in that maybe have that particular problem in that module, but they're all driving to the same product.
I love it. That's actually brilliant. I love what you say about your pillars in your coaching program or in your consulting program. You can actually have like different doors to the same product. And so each pillar, you do a little mini webinar, that brings people in and they come to the same product, right? And that way you get rid of confusion and all that. Do you suggest we do more short form or long form webinars?
So the short form webinar is really good to just test out your offer. A lot of times it's like, we got to do discovery calls, test the offer. What do you want to see in an offer? And a mini webinar is a great way to not only test your offer, but get money also, because if you don't make sales, then it's probably you're going to have to tweak your offer a little bit. So once you get those people, I know what the problem is. I just need to find someone. When you're ready to scale, that's when you do the bigger webinar, like a fishnet, and you drive everybody in there. So traditional webinars do have a place. I just suggest, I should have called them beta webinars. I just suggest starting with that 5 to 15 minute mini webinar, testing out your offer, getting those sales, getting testimonials from your clients or students, and then doing it again. And then when you're ready to start scaling, because you have the income to run ads or whatever, then you can do the traditional webinar.
So more like before, because long form webinars still have their space. Okay. However, you start with the shorter, easier to achieve ones, and then you can move up to the next one level, right?
Yeah, because those couple people that said that they had webinars, unless they got it the first time, I'm sure there was tweaking involved,
Yeah.
and they had to do it again, and then they had to tweak it again, and then
Yeah.
and then host it again. So
I love that. I love that. Now, there's another question there that says, how do you get those people to your webinars?
yeah, so the traffic that I like to use is YouTube, but you may not have a YouTube channel. You can use social media. I like using a link in my email signature. Now, if you still have a traditional job, be careful putting a link about your business in your signature if you don't want nobody to know about that. But yeah, but putting the link of the page, because we're putting your mini webinar on a page, and talking about it on social media, talking about the problem, Instagram. If you already have an email list, emailing your list. Nothing of this is like carved in stone. You can test whatever you want to because it's just that easy to create.
How do you prepare yourself to do a webinar?
There's like barely any preparation at all. Like once you know your topic and you're getting the freebie that's going to help you come up with your topic, and you know what it is that you want to sell. And for anybody who's like, I don't have anything to sell. Okay, can you sell somebody else's product? Can you be an affiliate? I mean, who's going to do a 2-hour webinar trying to sell scissors from Target? I mean, it's too much. But a 5-minute webinar and you're doing affiliate marketing and you're giving them the Amazon link, golden. And it doesn't really take that much preparation. Once you have your topic, you know what you're going to sell, you script out the mini webinar, you're deciding on, okay, do I want to be direct to camera like how we are now, or do I want to put up slides and just read the text on it? Record it, put it up on a page. You can add like either a link at the bottom where you're clicking to a checkout page, or put the checkout page underneath, selling your offer, or maybe as an opt-in, and there.
Awesome. And if there is any last thing that you would want to add to our audience today, yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I just want to say, you know what? Scaling with confidence is really just going out there and doing it. That's how you get confidence, is by doing it, and doing it scared. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect and shiny and in a bow, because that's how you're going to learn the fastest after, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But you're moving forward. So that's what I would just say. Just trying things out, scared and all, and that's how you're going to be able to get to your dreams faster.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Yes, you learn and you get confidence, you gain confidence by doing. So I want to encourage everyone. You heard April. It's not just staying and learning or planning and planning. It's actually time to hop on and actually start doing the work. Thank you so much, April. I'm super excited that we got to do this together.
Welcome. Have a good.
Thank you so much for listening to Scaling with Confidence. If you'd like to be featured on this show, check us out at scalingwithconfidence.com/cashflow and attend my next live challenge, where I'll reveal the 3 secrets to increasing your visibility for more profit. And if you're an entrepreneur that would like to be celebrated for your success and be on this show, please visit scalingwithconfidence.com/guest. Keep shining. The world needs your light.